So we got some NBA stuff we got to get over here. Obviously told you there that the Heat tonight, tomorrow night, need these games, need all these games trying to stave off the Atlanta Hawks. But the NBA now, because we're hitting the stretch run, if you've noticed, it seems a little bit like the players may be caring. The players may be starting to care a little bit. And you're starting to see that in games like, for instance, last night, Warriors and Grizzlies. Both teams going super hard. Dillon Brooks, Draymond Green. It's almost as if, because we're getting down to crunch time, the players care a little bit. It's incredible how much better the games and competition are when the players care a little bit. So that's what we're seeing right now, and you love to see it. So last night, you had the Warriors and the Grizzlies. These teams hate each other. I don't necessarily agree with the whole it's not a rivalry unless one team wins and another team wins. I think these teams hate each other. So it feels like a rivalry to me. You had Dillon Brooks and Draymond Green. You had the whole mess there. We'll get to some of that in big deal, not a big deal. Dillon Brooks at one point, he had his lips in Draymond Green's armpit. It was disgusting. I don't know what that's about, but whatever. I love when the teams hate each other. It's so much better than when they're hugging and kissing on each other. Also, Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's going to be reevaluated in 3 weeks. I got to give a shout out to my guy, Brian Scalabrine, the starting lineup, Sirius XM, NBA radio. I listen every morning. That's my show, man. I solo Scalabrine. That's my show right there. I miss Scalabrine as well. Used to do a weekly spot with me when I was doing ZASLOW Show on terrestrial radio. But anyway, also, by the way, Scalabrine, excellent on the Levitard show yesterday. Really fun appearance. So I got to give Scalabrine some credit here because yesterday when those guys were talking about the Durant injury, Scalabrine was like, he didn't slip on anything. This is going to wind up being a serious injury because what it looked like was, and this is the way he described it, he's right, it's like when a guy who's past his prime, a guy who's playing on Sunday mornings, at the JCC, when he wants to do something but his body doesn't quite agree. And that was Durant, he was jumping for a layup, but his foot was like, yeah, we're not doing that. And his foot never jumped with him. And you ended up turning his ankle rather violently like that. He didn't slip on anything. And Scalabrine's right. That's exactly what wound up happening. And now he's been ruled that they're going to reevaluate in 3 weeks. That's reevaluate in 3 weeks. So really the earliest he'll be back would be 4 weeks. Not the best way to get the Kevin Durant era started there in Phoenix. I think this is the rest of his career, where it's every game, he's an injury away from missing a ton of time. Because go look at the last few years of Kevin Durant. He's always hurt. And he missed a ton of time from these injuries. Look, the Brooklyn Nets may have got out at the right time. I mean, it was obviously a disaster there, but Brooklyn may have gotten out at the right time. Oh, and also yesterday in the NBA. So he hasn't been in the news very often lately, for good or bad. So Kyrie Irving had to get on that Twitch Live. He had to get out there and put some thoughts out there. And now the Mavericks, hey, this your boy now. This is your boy. And here's the thing. So Kyrie Irving was talking about gambling, and he was talking about kids making Teslas. And he was talking about, how can I be a cancer in the locker room when it's a team game? Here's what's going on. You understand what's happening here, right? You know why Kyrie Irving is posting videos trying to explain why he's not a cancer, right? The Dallas Mavericks stink since Kyrie got there. They may miss the playoffs, not just the actual playoff. They may miss the play-in altogether. They stink. And now Luka looks like he's going to miss a little bit of time, and it's only going to be on Kyrie, and the team has been stinking anyway with both of them. Oh, and Kyrie's a free agent, and he wants that $200 million. He only cares about money, because if not, he would have opted out of his contract at the beginning of the season and gone to play for the Lakers like he wanted. But no, he was not willing to give up the money. Kyrie Irving sees the writing on the wall. The Mavericks stink. Now Luka's out. They're going to continue to stink, and he's going to get blamed. And he's not going to get the money that he wants. So what does he got to do? He's got to complain to everybody. I'm not a cancer. How can I be a cancer? It's all about the money. It's only about the money with Kyrie Irving. He's the biggest hypocrite in that league. Only cares about the money. And that's why, that's the timing of it. My team stinks. Luka's out. Everyone's going to blame me. I'm not going to get my money. Wait, I'm not a cancer. How could I be a cancer? Don't fall for the Kyrie Irving rope-a-dope. That's the Kyrie. Don't fall for the Kyrie Irving rope-a-dope. That's what's going on there. It ain't hard to figure it out. Come on, you're smarter than that. Don't fall for it. So, there's a lot happening this weekend. You guys know that. Gave you the big games. But now you're saying to yourself, ZASLOW, I got to mix in a little bit of family time. Can't just be all about sports. I feel you, player. I know what you're talking about. ZASLOW, is it a big movie or is it not a big movie? That's right. Big movie or not a big movie? I got some good ones here for you. I told you, I think we're going to get out. We're going to see Creed 3. I'm going to try and fit it in at some point this weekend. Got a lot going on between my son, Weston Select U14 boys. We got 2 soccer matches this weekend. My other son, Jordan, he's got a basketball game at the JCC. I'm assistant coach. I told you I'm practically working next to Eric Spoelstra, drawing up the bomb inbound plays. We're winning tight games. But you may want to get away and go see a movie. I got some big movies or not big movies here for you. Number 1, first up, this movie is called The Ritual Killer. All right. It's a mystery, thriller, drama type movie. It's out today. It's not in theaters. It's streaming. So you can get it right from your home. It stars Morgan Freeman, Cole Hauser. How about Vernon Davis? That's right, former 49ers tight end. I feel like Morgan Freeman's at the place in his career. He's at like that. He's in like that Bruce Willis phase. By the way, shout out Bruce Willis. I know he's got a like early dementia kind of deal. I feel so bad. Everybody loves Bruce Willis, but Morgan Freeman's like in that Bruce Willis phase where he's doing straight to video. Anyway, here's what the movie's about: a detective hunts an international murderer committing ritualistic killings in a small Mississippi town. He seeks help from an anthropology professor, played by Freeman, who is an expert on the ancient rituals being performed. Now, there are no media or audience scores yet on Rotten Tomatoes. No one has seen this movie yet. The Ritual Killer? I'm going big movie. I love Morgan Freeman. I don't know, this sounds kind of interesting to me. Ritual killings? The hell's going on there? I'll go big movie. It's a streaming movie too. I don't have to go out to the theater. Yeah, I'll support Morgan Freeman. I'll go big movie. All right, next up. This movie is called Champions. Here's what's about. It's PG-13. It's got some crude and sexual references. It's got strong language. It's out in theaters today. It's a comedy. Here's who it stars. Woody Harrelson, Caitlin Olsen, Ernie Hudson. That's right. Cheech Marin. It's a Farrelly Brothers movie. Here's what it's about. Woody Harrelson stars in this hilarious and heartwarming story of a former minor league basketball coach who, after a series of missteps, is ordered by the court to manage a team of players with intellectual disabilities. He soon realizes that despite his doubts, together, this team can go further than they ever imagined. The media score on Rotten Tomatoes, 56%. The audience score, 75%. Now, if this movie was not directed by the Farrelly brothers, I would think this movie looks so cheesy. But those guys are funny and raunchy and crude as hell. And I think this movie's probably going to be pretty good. Champions, that's a big movie. Big movie or not a big movie? Scream 6. It's a thriller / horror. It's out in theaters today. It's rated R. It's got language throughout. It's got brief drug use. It's got strong, bloody violence. It stars Jenna Ortega, Wednesday Addams, I love her. Courtney Cox, Jasmine Savoy Brown, she's in Yellow Jackets, I love her too. Hayden Panettiere, where's she been? Here's what it's about. Following the latest Ghostface killings, the 4 survivors leave Woodsboro behind and start a fresh chapter. The media score on Rotten Tomatoes, 79%. The audience score, 94%. Hey, I love Jenna Ortega. You know that Wednesday, I couldn't get enough of that series on Netflix. I'll support anything she does now. My older son loves the Scream movies. Scream 6, we're definitely going to see it. That's a big movie. All right, I got one more for you here. Big movie or not a big movie? This movie is called 65. It's PG-13. It's a sci-fi action thriller. It's got some brief bloody images. It has peril. It has intense sci-fi action. It stars Adam Driver. Love Adam Driver. Here's what it's about. After a catastrophic crash on an unknown planet, pilot Mills quickly discovers he's actually stranded on Earth 65 million years ago. Now, with only one chance at rescue, Mills and the only other survivor, Koa, it's a child, must make their way across an unknown terrain riddled with dangerous prehistoric creatures in an epic fight to survive. The media score, 33%. The audience score, 58%. It worries me that the movie's PG-13. I feel like this movie should be R. Also, I've seen trailers for it. I think it looks way shitty, even though I really like Adam Driver. So, 65, not a big movie. We end on a low note. I'm sorry. And that's another edition of Big Movie or Not a Big Movie. Yes! All right, there you have it. So, we got a lot going on as far as the Heat, the Panthers, Inter Miami, Hurricanes. Can the Hurricanes win tonight and then be in the ACC Championship tomorrow to keep Miami going as the center of the sports universe? Hey, I can't predict the future. Time will tell. You know what else? I got to let you guys know, if you're going to sit at home, like I told you, I think I'm going to go to the Panthers game tonight, but if you're going to sit at home and get like the Tri-TV action going tonight, Canes, Panthers, Heat, you got to crack open a 6-pack of Johnny. That's right. Johnny Cuba, lifestyle brand, European roots, Caribbean soul, a refreshing German lager in a can. You know where you can pick it up. Broward Meat and Fish, Sedano's, Presidente, Winn-Dixie, Fresco E. Moss. I love getting the videos or the pictures of you guys trying a 6-pack of Johnny Cuba for the first time. You send it to me. I'll repost it on my Instagram. I'm an influencer. I'll get the word out about your brand. I repost it up there. You're like, Zaslow, I can't believe I didn't know about Johnny Cuba. It's so delicious. Hey, don't forget, my man Drew on Instagram yesterday. He tried the Johnny Cuba picante sauce with the finest Jamaican peppers. Like, this is so delicious. I go, of course it's delicious. That's why I'm telling you about it. So you could send me pictures or send me videos. I'll repost it. Remember, when you got Johnny Cuba, you always got to drink responsibly. And don't forget Johnny Cuba's mantra. I practically live my life by it. Stay tranquilo. Let's do big deal or not a big deal. Big deal or not a big deal. You know how we do. We wrap up every show, even on a Friday, with some of the big stories that we haven't been able to get to yet. Big deal or not a big deal. I'm watching the NBA late last night. Sacramento Kings beat the New York Knicks. Jalen Brunson got hurt, didn't play the second half. That's a big deal. But the Kings are good. They're second place now in the Western Conference. The Kings, who haven't been in the playoffs, I think now it's 17 years, are second place in the Western Conference. The NBA on TNT crew, Charles Barkley seems to know what's at the crux of the Kings' turnaround.
Kings looking for win number 39. That'll allow them to hold on to the number 2 spot in the West if they should win this one over New York.
Shout out to C. Webb. That's the last time they had a great team.
Yeah, they had like was Brian Anderson talking about the 8 straight years of going to the playoffs and then nothing, just crickets since 2006.
Yes,
that is all about the change.
Well, since Shaq on the team,
He was holding them back?
he was holding them back.
And then
He sold his portion,
And look at him. There you go. It's the Midas touch in reverse. It's the American Express halftime report.
But just say, Chuck, I sold my portion. And now they're winning.
Kings are good. I'm going big deal. I mean, you know, Barkley, he's got his own theory. Okay, do what you will. I love when Shaq cracks up and Barkley cracking jokes on him. But I'm going this Kings turnaround. It's a big deal. I'll be rooting for him in the playoffs. They're fun as hell, man. Big deal or not a big deal? So yesterday, the final trailer for the Super Mario Brothers movie came out yesterday. Movie comes out April 5th. My son's already telling me, my 11-year-old son is so into it. I'm way into it too. I mean, I grew up with Super Mario Brothers. This movie looks so good. It's an Illumination movie. The final trailer came out yesterday. Looks funny as hell. I can't wait for it. I'm going big deal. Super Mario Brothers final trailer. Big deal or not a big deal? This Sunday night, the Oscars. They're hosted by Jimmy Kimmel. I'm going not a big deal, believe it or not. I like the Golden Globes better because the Oscars are super stuffy, but nowadays, you got like 10 movies that are in the Best Picture category. It's too many movies. And more than half these movies I've never even heard of. So, Jimmy Kimmel, will he be funny? That's something to keep an eye on, but I'm going the Oscars this Sunday, not a big deal. I don't have time for it. Selection Sunday, come on now. Finally, one more for you ass. Big deal or not a big deal? The Grizzlies last night, they hate the Warriors. They beat the Warriors. The Warriors never win on the road. I think they're 7-26 now on the road, which is so pathetic. You got the whole back and forth with Draymond Green, Dylan Brooks. They played yesterday. Dylan Brooks put his mouth in Draymond's armpit. It was disgusting. I don't know what that's about. But here's NBA on TNT. After the game, Jared Greenberg has Dylan Brooks.
You told me before the game you were going to talk a lot. We saw you talking to a lot of different people tonight. What was the message that you had to Draymond?
That's what I do. I talk, and you know, I told him that you know, keep that mic. He's better at the mic than hooping. You know what I'm saying? So keep doing his podcast, keep blogging, keep doing his thing off the court. You know, it's cute, it's fun for him.
I'm going big deal. I think it's a rivalry. I don't think one team has to win sometimes, the other team has to win sometimes. If two teams hate each other, I think it's a rivalry. So I'm going big deal. And that right there is another edition of Big Deal or Not a Big Deal. Yes! Great week of shows. Hey, if your business is interested in partnering up with ZASLOW Show 2.0, JonathanZaslow@gmail.com. That's my business account. You can also go to Twitter. You can check that out. I got my email address right there under my bio. You can go take a look at that. If maybe you want to partner with the show, if you think it's right for you, maybe it's right for me too, we can explore opportunities. We can see what's up. Thanks to everybody who listened to the show this week, of course. Make sure tomorrow you catch an all-new episode of It's Still Real to Me. That's ZASLOW Show 2.0's wrestling podcast. We'll recap all the big stories and news and notes in the world of pro wrestling like we do every single week. I'll talk to you on ZASLOW Show 2.0 on Monday. You know what that means.